Hi Dechen, you look ready for today's lesson.
Of course! I had a look at what we'll be covering today, and I know that is algebraic representation, so there will be lots of A, B, and C's, and X, Y, and Z's.
Well, you're not wrong. But to be more precise, in mathematics, algebra is a tool to perform arithmetic with unknown or variable quantities. Or to put it simply, terms which can change or vary over time.
And these quantities are represented using letters, right?
That's right. When the quantities are unknown, algebra helps us to work out what they are. If the quantities are variables, we can replace the letters with numbers when we need to.
So algebra is almost like learning a new language. And I guess we need clear rules for it so that we can understand each other. Isn't that right?
Yes, you can say that. And speaking of, we have to use rules that combine a set of terms with letters and numbers using addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, just like in numbers. So today, we are going to learn on how to write letters to represent generalized numbers and later substitute the numbers into expressions or formulas as well.
Okay. But how do we do that?
Let's take a look at an example for that, shall we? Suppose you're going to buy 5 apples and 3 oranges. So if you know the unit price of both fruits, can you work out what the total cost would be?
Of course, that's easy. But what are the unit prices here?
Let's suppose the apples cost 10 cents each and the oranges cost 12 cents each.
Okay, then the total cost would be 5 times 10 plus 3 times 12. So that would be 86 cents in total.
Excellent. But here's a twist. Let's say we do not know the unit price of apples at all. So how exactly would we find the total cost then?
Well, then I guess without the cost of each apple, the calculation would look something like this. But then, writing cost of an apple every time we do a step would eventually get redundant, don't you think?
Exactly. Instead, we could just write apple to represent the cost of an apple. So the sum would look like this. But we could also just shorten it further and represent apple with just A as well.
Oh yes, now that looks much neater and is easier to write as well.
Indeed. And we can make this look even neater by using one of the rules of algebra, which allows us to write 5 times A as 5A.
Okay. And when we are given the cost of the apples later, we can finish the sum, right?
Yup. The cost of one apple could be a variable quantity. It could be 10 cents today and 12 cents tomorrow. Hence, the total cost would also be variable.
Oh, so that's how and why generalized numbers are represented with letters.
Yep, you got it right. Now let's look at some more examples to understand this concept better.
Sure, let's do it.
Here, given that a bag of rice costs R dollars and a bag of almonds costs A dollars, Pedro buys X bags of rice and Y bags of almonds. Now, we're being asked to write an expression for the change that Pedro receives from a $20 note. Here, since a bag of rice costs R dollars and Pedro buys X bags of rice, the total cost of rice would be R times X.
And the total cost of almonds would be 8 times Y, right?
That's right. And since Pedro paid with a $20 note, he would get back some change.
It's not that difficult. We just need to subtract the total cost of each item from the $20. The total cost of the items would be Rx plus AY. Hence, the change he is supposed to get equals 20 minus Rx minus AY.
I'm impressed. The expression you just derived is the algebraic expression for the change Pedro would receive from his $20 note.
You know what? I think I'm confident enough to try a question by myself.
Is that so? Why don't you try out this quiz then?
Sure.
That's incorrect. Click here to retry the question. Well done. Click here to continue the lesson.
That was easy. I guess we just have to interpret the question properly and carefully.
That's correct. And now that we are familiar with how algebra is used, let's move on to substituting numbers into expressions or formulas.
Oh yes, you mentioned this earlier as well, but what does that mean?
It's quite simple. Substitution means replacing the variables or the letters in an algebraic expression with their numerical values. And after we substitute an algebraic expression, we can then work out the total value of the expression.
Ah, I see. But can you give me an example too?
Yes, of course. Let's assume that Mr. Smith is having a party, and for that, he buys M boxes and N packs of soft drink. Each box contains 16 cans and each pack contains 6 cans. Can you first write an expression for the total number of cans of soft drink Mr. Smith has bought?
Sure. First, I'll break down the question in parts so that it's easier to understand. So consider the boxes first. We know that he has bought M boxes of soft drinks and that each box contains 16 cans. So the total number of cans from the boxes would be 16 times M or 16M. Similarly, each pack contains 6 cans and there are n numbers of them, which means the total number of cans from the packs would be 6 times n or 6n. Adding these together now, we obtain the expression 16m plus 6n for the total number of cans of soft drink.
Well done, Dachin. So now, if we are told that M equals 3 and N equals 2, we can evaluate the expression by using substitution. Hence, the total number of cans of soft drink equals 16 times 3 plus 6 times 2, and this equals 60.
Want to learn more? We have additional learning resources to offer for Cambridge IGCSE and AS A-level subjects. Register now for free.